What if I told you that 40% of what you do every single day isn't a choice, it's a habit? You didn't decide to check your phone first thing this morning. You didn't choose to procrastinate on that important task. And yet, these small, automated actions are shaping your health, relationships, career, your entire life. But here's the thing. You have the power to change them. Welcome to the Habit Revolution, where we unlock the secrets to transforming your habits and changing your life forever. Habits run deeper than you think. They're not just routines. They're hardwired into your brain, controlling your energy, focus, and success. The good news? Habits can be hacked. In this series, we're diving into the science, stories, and strategies behind how habits work, and how you can harness them to create a healthier, wealthier, and happier life. Whether you want to break bad habits or build new, life-changing ones, this is your blueprint to start a revolution in your life. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to break a bad habit, only to give up after a few days? Maybe you've promised yourself, this is the year I'll exercise, save money, or eat better, but somehow, life gets in the way. Well, I've been there too. That's why I've spent years studying what actually works. In this book, we'll explore how tiny, powerful shifts in your habits can create massive change in your life. So, if you're ready to take control of your habits and unleash your potential, get ready now. We'll uncover the surprising truth about why habits are so hard to change, and how to make them work for you instead of against you. Let's start your habit revolution today.
Every day you perform dozens of actions without even thinking. From brushing your teeth to scrolling through your phone, these routines feel automatic. Welcome to Chapter 1 of the Habit Revolution, Why Habits Are the Foundation of Life. So what are habits and why do they matter? Habits are the routines we follow without much thought. They can be helpful, like exercising regularly, or harmful, like stress-eating junk food. Scientists have discovered that 40% of our daily actions are habits. That's almost half of your day on autopilot. The good news, habits can be changed, and when you change your habits, you change your life. Cue, routine, reward. Here's how habits work. Every habit has 3 parts. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. Routine, the action you take. Reward, the benefit you receive which makes you repeat the habit. For example, cue, you feel bored. Routine, you check your phone. Reward, you feel entertained or connected. This pattern, called the habit loop, explains why habits are so powerful. Your brain craves the reward, making the habit automatic. But understanding this loop gives you the power to change it. Let me share a fascinating story. In the 1990s, a man named Eugene Pauly lost his memory due to a rare illness. He couldn't remember his wife's name or find his kitchen. Yet, he could take a walk around his neighborhood and return home without getting lost. How? His brain relied on habits. Scientists found that habits are controlled by a part of the brain called the basal ganglia. Even when the rest of the brain isn't active, this part keeps habits running. Eugene's story proves just how deeply wired habits are into our brains. Now let's talk about the power of small habits. Think of habits like planting seeds. Watering a plant every day might not seem like much, but over time, it grows into a tree. If you improve by just 1% every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. Small, consistent actions lead to massive results. Some habits are more powerful than others. These are called keystone habits. Keystone habits create a ripple effect, improving other areas of your life. For example, when Paul O'Neill became CEO of Alcoa, he focused on one habit, workplace safety. This single focus led to better organization, improved communication, and skyrocketing profits. One habit changed everything. Scene: a person replacing junk food with a bowl of fruit. Voiceover: breaking bad habits isn't about willpower, it's about replacing them with better ones. Here's how. Identify the cue. What triggers the habit? Change the routine. Replace the bad action with something positive. Keep the reward. Make sure the new habit feels just as satisfying. For example, bad habit: eating junk food when stressed. New habit: taking a short walk instead. Reward, feeling relaxed and refreshed. Your environment plays a huge role in your habits. If you want to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them. If you want to stop checking your phone before bed, leave it in another room. Simple changes to your surroundings can make good habits easier and bad habits harder. And remember, motivation isn't enough. Instead, start small. This is the power of micro habits. Floss one tooth. Write one sentence. Do one push-up. These tiny actions build momentum and make it easier to do more over time. At first, habits might feel restrictive, like rules you have to follow, but in reality, habits bring freedom. When good habits become automatic, you don't waste energy making decisions. You free up mental space for creativity and growth. Key takeaways from this chapter. Start small. Focus on tiny actions you can do every day. Track your progress. It keeps you motivated. Reward yourself. Celebrate small wins. Be patient. Habits take time to stick. Your habit revolution starts now. Habits are the building blocks of success. They shape your health, happiness, and achievements. So what habit will you start today? Let's begin this revolution together. Have you ever wondered how habits are formed? Why some actions feel automatic, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone, while others, like exercising or saving money, feel like a struggle? Welcome to Chapter 2 of the Habit Revolution, the Science of Habits. Habits are formed through repetition. When you do something for the first time, your brain works hard to process it. But with repetition, your brain rewires itself to make that behavior automatic. This process, called habit formation, is your brain's way of saving energy. Over time, the task moves to a part of the brain called the basal ganglia, the control center for automatic actions. This is why you can drive home without thinking about every turn or brush your teeth while planning your day. Scene, a visual of the habit loop. Cue, routine, reward, illustrated step by step. Voiceover. Every habit follows a pattern known as the habit loop. Cue, a trigger that signals your brain to start the habit. Routine, the action or behavior itself. Reward, the benefit you get that makes your brain want to repeat it. For example, cue, you see a coffee shop on your way to work. Routine, you stop to buy a coffee. Reward, you feel energized and ready for the day. This loop tells your brain which actions are worth repeating, and understanding it is the first step to creating or changing habits. But habits aren't just about routines, they're driven by cravings. When your brain associates a cue with a reward, it starts to crave that reward. For example, you don't just drink coffee for the caffeine, you crave the feeling of alertness it gives you. Smokers often crave the sense of relaxation they associate with cigarettes, not just the nicotine. By identifying what you're craving, you can find healthier ways to satisfy it. Research shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. The more you repeat a behavior, the stronger the neural connections in your brain become, making the habit easier over time. For instance, if you start walking for just 10 minutes a day, it might feel difficult at first, but after a few weeks, it becomes a natural part of your routine. Scene, a person trying to jump over a large gap and failing, then succeeding by using small stepping stones. Voiceover. Now, let's break a common myth. Habits don't change overnight. True change takes time and consistency. The key is to focus on small, manageable steps. Instead of aiming to run 5 miles a day, start by simply putting on your running shoes. Small wins build confidence and create momentum, making it easier to stick with your habit in the long run. So, what have we learned about the science of habits? Habits are automatic. They free up mental energy for other tasks. Repetition is key. The more you repeat a behavior, the easier it becomes. Cravings drive habits. Identify what you're really craving to take control of your habits. Start small. Focus on tiny changes to create lasting habits. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to identify the habits that are holding you back and the steps to replace them with positive ones. The journey continues as we build your habit revolution. What habit will you start working on today? Let's take the next step together. The Habit Revolution. Transform your life, one habit at a time. Chapter 2. The Science of Habits. How habits are formed. Habits are formed through repetition. The more you repeat a behavior, the more your brain wires itself to make that behavior automatic. This is called habit formation, and it's your brain's way of saving energy. When you do something for the first time, your brain works hard to process it. But with repetition, it moves the task to the basal ganglia, a part of the brain responsible for automatic actions. This is why you can drive home without thinking about every turn or brush your teeth while planning your day. The habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. All habits follow a pattern known as the habit loop. 1. Cue, a trigger that tells your brain to start the habit. 2. Routine, the action or behavior itself. 3. Reward, the benefit you get that makes your brain want to repeat it. For example, on cue, you see a coffee shop on your way to work. 2. Routine, you stop to buy a coffee. 3. Reward, you feel energized and ready for the day. This loop helps your brain know which actions are worth repeating. Understanding it is the first step to creating or changing habits. The role of cravings in habits. Cravings drive habits. When your brain associates a cue with a reward, it starts to crave the reward, making the habit hard to resist. For example, 1. You don't just drink coffee for the caffeine. You crave the feeling of alertness it gives you. 2. Smokers often crave the feeling of relaxation they associate with cigarettes, not just the nicotine. By identifying what you're craving, you can find healthier ways to satisfy it. The power of repetition. Research shows it takes 66 days on average to form a new habit, though this can vary depending on the complexity of the habit. Repetition strengthens the connections in your brain, making the habit easier over time. For example, 1. If you start walking for 10 minutes every day, it might feel hard at first, but after a few weeks it becomes part of your routine. Breaking the myth of instant change. Many people believe habits can change overnight, but this isn't true. Habits take time and consistency to form. The key is to focus on small, manageable steps. Instead of aiming to run 5 miles a day, start with just putting on your running shoes. Small wins build confidence and create momentum, helping you stick with your habit in the long run. Key takeaways. 1. Habits are automatic. They free up mental energy for other tasks. 2. Repetition is key. The more you repeat a behavior, the easier it becomes. 3. Cravings drive habits. Identify what you're craving to control your habits. 4. Start small. Focus on tiny changes to create lasting habits. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to identify the habits that are holding you back and the steps to replace them with positive ones. Let's keep building your habit revolution. Chapter 3. The Myth of Motivation. Why motivation fails. Many people believe motivation is the key to success. They wait for a spark of inspiration to start exercising, studying, or working on their goals. But here's the truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, and if you depend on it, you'll struggle to stay consistent. The science behind motivation. Research shows that motivation is often strongest at the beginning of a new goal. For example, when you decide to start a new diet, you feel excited and ready to make a change. But as time goes on, that initial excitement fades, and old habits creep back in. A study published in Psychological Science found that people are more likely to act based on habits than motivation when they're tired or stressed. This is because habits require less mental effort than decisions driven by willpower or enthusiasm. What works instead of motivation? 1. Build systems, not goals. Now focus on creating routines and systems that make good behaviors automatic. For example, instead of saying, "I'll get motivated to exercise," schedule a specific time to work out every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. 2. Start small. Tiny actions are easier to stick with and don't rely on motivation. For instance, commit to writing 1 sentence a day instead of trying to write an entire chapter. 3. Make it easy. Design your environment to support your goals. If you want to eat healthier, prep fruits and veggies in advance so they're easy to grab. If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand. Real-life example. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it. It's just part of your routine. This is because it's a habit, not a decision. The same principle can apply to any goal. The more automatic the action becomes, the less you need to rely on fleeting motivation. Key takeaways. 1. Motivation is temporary. Habits are long-lasting. 2. Build systems and routines to make good behaviors automatic. 3. Start with small, easy actions to create momentum. 4. Design your environment to support your goals. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to identify and replace bad habits with positive ones. Let's keep building your habit revolution. Chapter 4. Identify the loops that hold you back. Understanding the loops. Habits often feel automatic, but they are built around predictable loops. These loops consist of 3 main components. 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. 2. Routine, the behavior or action that follows. 3. Reward, the benefit or satisfaction that reinforces the habit. To change a habit, you first need to identify the loop that keeps it going. Each part of the loop plays a key role in why the habit exists and persists. Finding the triggers, cues. The first step is identifying what triggers the habit. Common cues include: 1. Time of day. Do you always feel like snacking at 3 p.m.? 2. Emotions. Do stress or boredom make you reach for your phone? 3. Environment. Do you check your phone whenever it's within arm's reach? Once you understand the cue, you can work to disrupt it or prepare for it. Uncovering the routine. Next, focus on the routine, the action you take when the habit is triggered. This is the most visible part of the loop, but it's not always the easiest to change. For example, 1. Habit, late night snacking. And cue, feeling bored at night. Routine, grabbing chips from the pantry. Reward, a sense of comfort. To change this, replace the routine with a healthier one. Instead of eating chips, try drinking tea or going for a short walk. The key is to keep the reward satisfying. Evaluating the reward. Finally, analyze the reward. What benefit does the habit give you? Is it relaxation, excitement, or simply a distraction? Rewards are powerful because they create cravings. If you understand what reward you're seeking, you can find healthier ways to satisfy it. For instance, 1. If you snack to relieve stress, you could replace it with meditation or a short workout. 2. If you check your phone for connection, consider calling a friend instead. Practical steps to identify your loops. 1. Observe your habits. Pay attention to when and where your habits happen. 2. Journal the details. Write down the cues, routines, and rewards for each habit. 3. Experiment with changes. Replace one part of the loop and see how it affects the habit. Breaking the loops. Understanding your habit loops is the first step to breaking free from them. By disrupting the cues, changing the routines, and rethinking the rewards, you can take control of even the most stubborn habits. In the next chapter, we'll explore strategies to replace bad habits with positive, life-changing ones. Let's keep moving forward in your habit revolution. Chapter 5. How to replace bad habits. The importance of replacement. One of the most effective ways to break a bad habit is to replace it with a better one. Simply trying to stop a habit often doesn't work, because the cue and reward remain. To succeed, you need to focus on changing the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. Step 1. Understand the habit loop. Let's take an example. 1. Bad habit. Eating junk food when stressed. 2. Cue. Feeling stressed after work. 3. Routine. Grabbing chips or candy. 4. Reward. Feeling a brief sense of relief. To replace this habit. 1. Keep the cue. Stress after work. 2. Change the routine. Instead of eating chips, take a 5-minute walk or drink herbal tea. 3. Ensure the reward is similar. Relaxation or stress relief. Step 2. Make the new routine easy. If the new habit feels too hard, you'll likely revert to the old one. Simplify the new routine so it's easy to stick to. For example, 1. Keep healthy snacks like nuts or fruits readily available if you want to avoid junk food. 2. Prepare workout clothes the night before to make morning exercise easier. Small changes to your environment can make a big difference. Step 3. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself for sticking to the new habit, even in small ways. For example, 1. After choosing a healthy snack, allow yourself 10 minutes to relax and watch a favorite show. 2. After completing a short workout, listen to uplifting music as a reward. These rewards help reinforce the new routine and make it more enjoyable. Examples of replacing bad habits. 1. Bad habit, scrolling on your phone late at night. New routine, read a book or journal before bed. Reward, a sense of calm and better sleep. 2. Bad habit, procrastinating on important tasks. New routine, start with just 5 minutes of work. A reward, feeling accomplished for taking the first step. 3. Bad habit, skipping workouts. A new routine, do a 10-minute home workout instead of aiming for an hour at the gym. Reward, a sense of energy and progress. Practical tips for success. 1. Focus on one habit at a time. Replacing too many habits at once can be overwhelming. Start with the one that has the biggest impact on your life. 2. Be patient. Habits take time to change. Stick with the new routine, even if it feels hard at first. 3. Track your progress. Use a habit tracker or journal to monitor your success and stay motivated. Key takeaways. 1. Replacing a habit is more effective than simply trying to stop it. 2. Focus on changing the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. 3. Make the new habit simple and rewarding. 4. Celebrate small wins to reinforce the change. By replacing bad habits with positive ones, you can take control of your life and create lasting change. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of small, consistent actions and how they lead to big results. Let's keep building your habit revolution. 2. Solution. Change into workout clothes immediately when you get home to signal it's time to exercise. Tips to master triggers. 1. Adjust your environment. Make small changes to your surroundings to avoid triggers. For example, keep unhealthy snacks out of sight. 2. Use positive reminders. Set alarms or place sticky notes to encourage good habits. 3. Anticipate emotional triggers. Be mindful of feelings like stress or boredom and prepare a positive response. 4. Track and reflect. Write down your triggers and the actions they prompt. This helps you become more aware and proactive. Key takeaways. 1. Triggers are the cues that start habits, and they can be positive or negative. 2. Identify your triggers to understand why certain habits happen. 3. Remove or replace negative triggers with positive ones. 4. Use your environment and reminders to reinforce good habits. By breaking the chains of negative triggers and building positive ones, you can reshape your habits and take control of your life. Let's continue building your habit revolution. Chapter 6. Breaking the chains of triggers. What are triggers? Strengthens the connections in your brain, making the habit easier over time. For example, 1. If you start walking for 10 minutes every day, it might feel hard at first, but after a few weeks it becomes part of your routine. Breaking the myth of instant change. Many people believe habits can change overnight, but common types of triggers. 1. Time. Certain times of day can trigger specific habits. Example, feeling the urge for a snack at 3 p.m. every day. 2. Location. Your environment plays a big role in prompting habits. Example, feeling the need to check your phone when sitting on the couch. 3. Emotions. Emotional states often serve as powerful triggers. Example, reaching for comfort food when you're stressed. 4. People. Social interactions can prompt habits. Example, drinking more at parties because everyone else is. 5. Preceding actions. One habit often triggers another. Example, brushing your teeth after dinner. How to break negative triggers. 1. Identify the trigger. Pay attention to when and where the habit happens. Keep a journal to note patterns. Example, if you always snack while watching TV, the TV might be your trigger. 2. Disrupt the trigger. Change your environment to remove or weaken the trigger. An example, if your phone distracts you, keep it in another room while working. 3. Replace the trigger. Swap the negative trigger with a positive one. Example, instead of stress leading to unhealthy snacks, let it prompt a 5-minute walk or deep breathing. Turning triggers into positive cues. Triggers don't have to be bad. You can use them to encourage good habits instead. 1. Example, place your running shoes by the door to remind yourself to exercise. 2. Example, keep a water bottle on your desk to prompt hydration. Positive triggers act as gentle nudges that help you stick to healthy routines. Practical examples of breaking triggers. 1. Bad habit, eating junk food when bored. Trigger, feeling bored in the afternoon. Solution, keep healthy snacks like fruits or nuts readily available. 2. Bad habit, checking your phone constantly. Trigger, notifications. Solution, turn off non-essential notifications or use focus mode. 3. Bad habit, skipping workouts. A trigger, feeling tired after work. Solution, change into workout clothes immediately when you get home to signal it's time to exercise. Tips to master triggers. 1. Adjust your environment. Make small changes to your surroundings to avoid triggers. For example, keep unhealthy snacks out of sight. 2. Use positive reminders. Set alarms or place sticky notes to encourage good habits. 3. Anticipate emotional triggers. Be mindful of feelings like stress or boredom and prepare a positive response. 4. Track and reflect. Write down your triggers and the actions they prompt. This helps you become more aware and proactive. Key takeaways. 1. Triggers are the cues that start habits, and they can be positive or negative. 2. Identify your triggers to understand why certain habits happen. 3. Remove or replace negative triggers with positive ones. 4. Use your environment and reminders to reinforce good habits. By breaking the chains of negative triggers and building positive ones, you can reshape your habits and take control of your life. Let's continue building your habit revolution. Chapter 7. Start small. The power of micro habits. Why start small? When it comes to building new habits, starting small is the key to success. Big goals often feel overwhelming and lead to procrastination. But small actions are manageable and easy to stick with. They create momentum, making it easier to build consistency over time. For example, 1. Instead of saying, "I'll work out for an hour every day," start with a 2-minute stretch or 5 push-ups. 2. Instead of aiming to write 1,000 words, commit to writing just 1 sentence. These micro habits might seem insignificant, but they set the stage for bigger achievements. The science behind micro habits. Micro habits work because they require minimal effort. Research shows that the smaller the task, the less resistance your brain feels about starting it. Once you've started, the natural momentum often leads to doing more than you planned. This is called the 2-minute rule. 1. Any habit you want to build should take less than 2 minutes to start. For example, if you want to read more, commit to reading 1 page. If you want to meditate, start with just 30 seconds. By lowering the barrier to entry, micro-habits make it easier to take the first step. How micro-habits lead to big changes. Small habits compound over time, leading to significant results. Consider this. 1. Flossing 1 tooth may lead to flossing all your teeth. 2. Doing 1 push-up may lead to a full workout. 3. Writing 1 sentence may lead to completing a chapter. Each small action builds confidence and reinforces your identity. For example, if you write 1 sentence every day, you start to see yourself as a writer. This shift in identity makes it easier to stay consistent and build bigger habits. Real-life examples of micro-habits. 1. Exercise. Start with a 5-minute walk instead of a 30-minute run. Commit to putting on your workout clothes as the first step. 2. Healthy eating. The myth of instant change. Many people believe habits can change overnight. Drink 1 extra glass of water each day. 3. Productivity. Write 1 sentence or brainstorm 1 idea instead of tackling a whole project. Organize 1 item on your desk instead of the entire workspace. How to build micro-habits. Anchor the habit to an existing routine. Link the new habit to something you already do daily. For example, after brushing your teeth, do 1 push-up. After making your morning coffee, write 1 sentence. 2. Celebrate small wins. And reward yourself for completing the habit, no matter how small. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more enjoyable. An example, smile or give yourself a mental high five after completing the habit. 3. Track your progress. Use a habit tracker to record your success. Seeing your progress builds motivation and encourages consistency. 4. Stay patient. Remember, micro-habits are about consistency, not speed. Focus on showing up every day, even if the action feels small. Key takeaways. 1. Start small to make habits easy and manageable. 2. Use the 2-minute rule to lower resistance and get started. 3. Anchor new habits to existing routines for better consistency. 4. Celebrate small wins to build motivation. By starting small, you create a foundation for lasting change. Micro-habits may seem tiny, but their impact grows over time, transforming your life 1 step at a time. Let's keep building your habit revolution. Chapter 8. The Keystone Habit Effect. What are keystone habits? Keystone habits are the super habits that have the power to transform multiple areas of your life. Unlike regular habits, keystone habits create a ripple effect, influencing other behaviors and routines without much additional effort. They act as anchors, helping you build a solid foundation for personal growth. The ripple effect of keystone habits. When you develop a keystone habit, it sets off a chain reaction. For example, 1. Exercise. Regular exercise doesn't just improve your physical health. It also boosts your mood, enhances focus, and encourages healthier eating. 2. Meal planning. Planning meals in advance can lead to better budgeting, reduced stress, and improved family time. These habits act as triggers, making it easier to adopt other positive behaviors. Real-life example. Alcoa's transformation. In 1987, Paul O'Neill became the CEO of Alcoa, a struggling aluminum company. Instead of focusing on profits, O'Neill made workplace safety his top priority. This keystone habit had surprising effects. 1. Communication among workers improved. 2. Productivity increased because processes were streamlined to enhance safety. 3. Profits soared, and Alcoa became one of the top-performing companies in its industry. This shows how focusing on one powerful habit can lead to transformative change. How to identify your keystone habits. 1. Look for habits with a wide impact. Choose habits that influence other areas of your life. Example: journaling daily can improve self-awareness, reduce stress, and enhance decision-making. 2. Focus on habits that align with your goals. Think about what matters most to you. If improving health is a priority, exercise might be your keystone habit. 3. Start with simple actions. And keystone habits don't have to be complicated. Small actions like making your bed each morning can set a positive tone for the day. Examples of keystone habits. 1. Exercise. Benefits: improved health, better sleep, and increased energy. Ripple effect: encourages better eating habits and stress management. 2. Family dinners. Benefits: stronger relationships and better communication. A ripple effect: improves emotional well-being and encourages healthier eating. 3. Tracking finances. Benefits: better budgeting and financial control. Ripple effect: reduces stress and fosters long-term planning. How to build keystone habits. 1. Start small. Don't focus on consistency rather than perfection. For example, commit to exercising for 10 minutes a day instead of an hour. 2. Celebrate progress. Recognize and reward yourself for sticking to the habit. Positive reinforcement helps solidify the routine. 3. Be patient. Keystone habits take time to develop. Stay consistent and the ripple effects will follow. 4. Track your impact. And monitor how the habit influences other areas of your life. This will keep you motivated to stick with it. Key takeaways. 1. Keystone habits have a ripple effect, positively influencing other behaviors. 2. Identify habits that align with your goals and have a wide impact. 3. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate your progress. 4. Focus on habits that anchor your day and set a positive tone. Keystone habits are the foundation of meaningful change. By focusing on just one powerful habit, you can unlock a chain reaction of positive behaviors that transform your life. Let's continue building your habit revolution. Chapter 9. The role of rewards and cravings. Why rewards matter. Rewards are the driving force behind habits. They provide the satisfaction that keeps us coming back to a behavior. Without a reward, our brain loses interest in repeating the routine. Rewards can be big or small, tangible or emotional, but they must be meaningful to you. For example, 1. Exercise reward, feeling energized and proud after a workout. 2. Healthy eating reward, savoring a delicious, nutritious meal. How cravings drive habits. Cravings are the brain's way of anticipating a reward. When you associate a cue with a reward, your brain starts to crave the satisfaction it expects. This craving drives you to complete the routine. Over time, the craving becomes automatic,